Think of someone you know. It could be someone from work, college, or the gym. And this person walks into a room and everyone greets them. They're not the most attractive, not the funniest, not the loudest. But there's something about them that pulls people in. A presence. A strange calm that feels magnetic. Now think of someone who's trying to be interesting, carefully choosing every word, checking whether the other person is enjoying what they're saying, worried about what people will think if they make the wrong joke. What if I told you that all that effort is what's sabotaging you? The secret nobody tells you about charisma is that it doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from letting go. Most people believe charisma is a skill that involves forcing certain behaviors, making eye contact at just the right angle, asking the perfect questions, giving a firm handshake, and that stuff has its place. But when applied forcefully, it's nothing more than neediness, a constant craving for validation. And that internal state, that need for other people's approval, leaks into everything you do. Your tone of voice, your body language, the way you hesitate before speaking. People pick up on it, even if they can't name it. There's a concept called locus of control. When you have an internal locus of control, you're guided by what you think, feel, and decide. When it's external, you're guided by what others think of you. Behavioral science has already shown this. People with an internal locus are perceived as more confident, more attractive, more influential. That locus of control is the detachment mentioned in the title. It's disconnecting from the external and focusing on what actually matters, your actions and reactions. This detachment isn't coldness, it's freedom. It's the state where you can be completely yourself because you genuinely don't need anyone else's approval. By the end of this video, you'll become aware of this state and start applying it in your next interactions, with whoever it may be. Have you ever left a conversation with it playing back in your head on repeat? Did I talk too much? Was that joke funny or just awkward? I think she seemed a little cold at the end. There's a name for this in social psychology: excessive self-monitoring. And the problem isn't just that it's exhausting, it's that it creates a disconnect between you and the present moment. While you're busy analyzing how you're coming across, you stop actually being in the conversation. And people feel that as distance, as something fake. The more you try to control the impression you make, the more artificial you come across. So the first thing you can practice is simple, but it goes against your instincts. When you enter a conversation, set your intention to be curious, not to be approved of. Focus on what the other person is actually saying. When you stop monitoring yourself and start genuinely listening, the other person feels it intuitively. Another mindset that detachment builds is this: you don't need to convince people or explain yourself. There's a massive difference between influencing and trying to convince. Whoever is trying to convince someone has already entered a position of weakness. They're asking the other person to change their mind. Truly influential people simply express themselves freely. They say what they think with clarity, put it out there, and don't wait for approval. This creates a counterintuitive effect. The less you push, the more people lean toward you. Think about how you react when someone tries too hard to sell you on an idea. You pull back, right? But when someone shares something lightly without needing you to agree, you get curious. Start noticing this in your next interactions. Are you expressing yourself, or are you asking for permission to exist? Now let's talk about rejection. Yes, rejection hurts. I'm not going to romanticize that. But what separates people with magnetic presence from those without isn't the absence of rejection. It's the relationship they've built with it. This is called frustration tolerance. Every time you do something vulnerable, send a message, take a position in a conversation, and the outcome is not what you expected, your nervous system should respond consciously, understanding that you're still okay, that the world didn't end, that you're still whole. Over time, you stop avoiding situations out of fear of rejection, you stop contracting, you expand, you speak with more freedom, act with more boldness, express yourself naturally. Rejection loses its power to paralyze you when you decide it's information, not judgment. Someone didn't reply, they have their own life going on. Didn't click with someone, they're just not compatible with me. The next time you feel that tightness, the urge to avoid something out of fear of rejection, pause for a second and ask yourself, what would I do here if I knew I'd survive any response? Then do that. Detachment isn't something you declare, it's something you build slowly from the inside out. To develop it, stop overthinking feedback. You don't need to ask, am I being annoying? Or scan people's expressions for signs. Trust that what you have to say has value. Not because someone validated it, but because you decided it does. Build an identity strong enough that you don't depend on how people treat you. And finally, start acting before you feel ready. Charisma isn't the absence of insecurity, it's the ability to act in spite of it. When you stop forcing, charisma stops being a performance and starts being a byproduct of presence, of honesty, of not needing the room's approval to feel like yourself. And that's the full paradox. When you stop needing people to like you, they start liking you more. Save this video because you'll want to come back to it the next time you feel that old urge to please everyone. And let me know in the comments, which part hit hardest for you today? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.